There are some things that we are being told while growing up that even the Quran addressed it, but the truth of that part was not being sold to us. We are not taught. Now that is where religion comes in. As a religion is there, but those practicing the religion are the real problems. Are they really teaching what the religion is saying, or they are teaching what suits their own ideology? So either we want to take it or not, religion will continue to be.
When you study the DNA, you will find this is science. You will find intelligence there. If you take a gram of dried DNA, right, it's microscopic, but if you expand it, it expands to about 6 feet. Nonetheless, in its original state, it is microscopic. The DNA, when we talk about the world's largest supercomputer, that's called the El Capitan, it can store about 4 petabytes of data. We have bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. Then you now have petabytes there. About before you have exabytes. That's the world's largest supercomputer, even up until date. But the DNA can store 5 times more information than the world's largest supercomputer. And if we are bold enough to say that inventions like maybe something as simple as water in a bottle or as a spaceship had to be designed intelligently for it to be functional, is it not now, in some intellectual sense, crazy to say that level of intelligence that you find in the DNA was the product of chaos?
I would say I have gone through 3 stages in my life. I have gone through the religious stage, then I have gone through the spiritual stage. Then I'm at my logical stage. I'm now thinking. There's nothing you won't tell me about Christianity. Been there, done that. You are making up stories that can't be proven. There's no say. If you ask me, I would say that Jesus Christ came at the right time. Back then, because if you had come now, or more ego cast.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, welcome to another episode of Versus. To my left, we have Aliu. Seated beside Aliu is Shalewa, or more Shalewa. Pastor Elvis, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Pastor Elvis is a Christian, as the name implies.
Not all pastors are Christians, but
True that.
Interesting. So I'd like to start from Pastor Elvis. What I'd like us to do very briefly is share a little bit about ourselves in connection to our worldview. So you tell me about yourself, a little bit about your background, how it's influenced your worldview as a Christian, and what you believe in. And we're going to go around and also do that before we delve into the topic.
Okay, so I was born into a Christian home, and I think that's the story of more than 6 out of 10 Africans that you find in this part of Africa anyway. But that in itself did not really inform my decision to follow Christ. And I had always searched for meaning right from a young age. And thinking back now, looking back in hindsight, judging several things that I did growing up, I think I can only say that I did many things because I was looking for purpose and meaning. And I remember back then, no need to share too many stories anyway. But eventually, getting into secondary school, I always felt out of place or out of touch. It always seemed like there was much more to life, much more to existence, much more to me in particular. And I never really found a community of people that were also in my shoes. Everybody seemed to have just been living life as the day goes by. Until I got into university, and then I met a group of people who held on to something that they believed. They had firm convictions about what they believed, and they were willing to die for what they believed. And these people were not Christians. I know you might have thought maybe it was one church. No, these guys were cult guys. And that was what In some
the
sense,
irony, though.
in some sense, that's what I was looking for. Like, finally, I found people that believe in something.
Interesting.
They are holding on to something, and then of course it came with several other perks too, and I eventually became a part of them, right? And
Wow.
I've not really shared the whole story on any platform, and I don't intend to do that today either. But that was part of my journey.
Interesting.
But the point still came, even when, Solomon had to try every possibility in life before he came to a conclusion I saw vanity. I did not have that privilege or the funding to try everything. Because it takes money.
The funding, don't kill me.
But I went all out. And just to let you know how the extent that I went, in less than 3 months of being a part of that group, I was already being considered to be what they call a number one. Of course, there was going to be a time frame based on the structure, but it was like prophecy, like this. This is who I've been waiting for.
A red gem.
That kind of thing. Because I gave my all to it. I learned the entire history of that group, learned what they call their orientation. I knew it word for word, and I was so passionate about it because I thought I had found meaning, right? Until eventually I found that the hole that was in my heart when I sojourned on that journey was still there, and it led to a lot of things. I'm going to round up so it's not too long. It led to a lot of things that brought me to a place where I was going to commit suicide. This was over 12, 13 years ago. And I normally do not like sharing this kind of story in a conversation like this. I like to keep it intellectual. But for the purpose of your question, you asked my background.
Yes.
I was going to commit suicide on a particular day. And just when I was going to take a rat poison, I remember the color and the shape of the rats that was on the pack. And I believe who I met now, in hindsight, was the Lord Jesus Christ. Maybe it was not as spectacular as me touching him here in a tangible form, but he walked up to me. The same way that there is oxygen around you, and when you breathe in, you are breathing in oxygen. It's how I knew that the person that I had met on that day was the Lord Jesus Christ. And he told me, do you know I can give you life? And I began to cry and shout, I want life. And that's the beginning of my story. I think the rest is on another day. So
that's beautiful.
And even after that, I still went ahead to do a lot of research on my own to find out what is the history of Christianity, what is the origin of Christianity, why should this be the right? Why is this the right path to follow? Am I about to waste my life again? And I found very cogent reasons why that's the only way to go. So that's how I became a Christian.
Right. That's beautiful. Thank you. I think it's a K1's song that says Iyami Baba won bi mi da emi gangan mo tuntun rabi lórúkọ mi ṣe ń ga sí. So what I hear from that story, your parents.
Oh, that's his most popular song. I know the song.
So your parents were Christians?
Yeah.
They
Catholics.
birthed you. Oh, interesting.
So I didn't end up a free thinker anyway.
Mad. They birthed you as Christians, but then you had to go through your own personal experience.
A lot of it.
And now rebirthed yourself.
Yes.
I love that. Can we hear from you?
Okay.
Shalewa?
Down.
Okay. Thank you.
Please include the reason why your name is Shalewa in this.
I thought
We all
it
want
was
to
the
know.
when I told him so.
I get that every time, but I won't lie. It's an positive for me. It gets me chicks. For real.
Gets you chicks.
Yeah, for real, man. It gets me chicks.
Interesting.
For real. It's always something that starts up a conversation. Yeah, so it gets me chicks.
Are you married? Sorry.
Yeah. I'm separated. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay. So, for me, everything about me has been a personal journey. My beliefs, my ideology is not about maybe just about books that I read or anything. I'm not the type to just view things from the outside, being a passive observer. I want to be involved. So I was born into a Catholic family. I was raised by my grandparents, amazing people, by the way. And it was despite the fact that I was pretty young, I just had this conviction that something just doesn't feel right. Yeah, something just. I was pretty young, less than 10 years old, but I knew something just didn't just feel right. And I went through the sacraments, the old Catholic Church. You go through baptism, first communion. I did all that. I did all that stuff.
Confirmation.
I dropped out before that.
Oh, you dropped before
I dropped
confirmation.
out. Yeah.
I finished.
No, I didn't finish that. I dropped
Got
out.
a new name, Pius.
Mine was Paul.
You got Paul. I was more excited about the name than the confirmation.
So I dropped out, and I have gone through this journey where I've experimented with different religions. I was born into a Catholic family. When I was about 13, back when I was in King's College, Lagos, I had this best friend, Ibrahim. He was a Muslim. So I was like, Ibrahim, what's up? Teach me about this religion. Yeah. So Ibrahim taught me bits. I learned how to do the ablution. There's a water ablution, right? There's the sand ablution. Yeah, right. The sand ablution.
Yes.
Yeah. So I learned that. I read the Quran, but not deeply. But I won't say that really matters because I was young. I was 13. So if at 13 I could do that, then there was something coming.
Yes.
It was just a matter of time. So as I continue to evolve, I would say I have gone through 3 stages in my life. I have gone through the religious stage, then I have gone through the spiritual stage. Then right now I'm at my logical stage. I'm now thinking. I'm now thinking. So when there's nothing you won't tell me about Christianity being there, done that. As in, Christianity itself don't even show me pepper. I've gotten some crazy experience. So you know what? Let me share one crazy one with you guys. When my little girl was less than 5 months old. Yeah. I was still married then. And I don't know how this pastor got into our lives. I don't even know. I can't even remember. So this pastor told my estranged wife and myself back then that we should go to Mountain of Fire Camp to go and pray. I don't know. Like, we just got into the car, then we drove there. I will tell you for free, religion is tourism. Those guys are making, because people go there for all sorts of things, problems and all that. They make money from the chalets, the hotels. They are expensive. I'm talking about over 13 years ago. They were pretty expensive. So and you have to stay there for like 3-4 days, some people a week, right? So we're fasting. Me that I'm a foodie. I want to die. As in, it was so crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy. Yeah, for you. It was so crazy. There was a time that I told my ex then, I'm like, babe, I'm tired. I go chop. She said, baby, please don't do it. I said, I was like, no, I can't take this. So anyway, the craziest part was now it is okay if adults are praying and fasting, right? Now my ex back then she was breastfeeding our little baby who was probably less than 5 months old. This was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So we're fasting. This was like second day into the full fasting and prayer and more. It was, I can't, at times I'm like, Shalewa kilo swear de for God. Like how did you get to that point in your life? So my estranged wife, was about to breastfeed my daughter, back then, and this pastor just came out and started shouting that why is the baby not fasting?
That's evil.
Why is the baby not fasting?
That's very evil.
Less than 5 months old baby fasting, it didn't make any sense. I'm like, she's like, yes.
Even the mother isn't supposed to fast.
Yes. Yeah, I pitied her because she was doing, and it's not the one that it eats maybe after. It was dry fasting, days of no food and no water.
Wow.
Mad.
Crazy.
Mad, as in mad. And I was like, what is this? As in, what madness is this? So I just did that. I just told her back then that I'm leaving this place, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you left?
Yeah.
Hope you carried your baby when you leave.
For sure. Not the first person, man. It was really crazy. So I think after that point, I now started, getting this inclination towards, African traditional religion. Yeah, I just felt like, what, this whole Christianity thinking, now wash, let me go back to my roots. And it was at that point I met a very amazing friend. She's the priestess of Yemoja, Omi Tonade Ifa Wemimo. I'm sure you might even have heard about her. So I reached out to her on Twitter, now X, and this was a long time ago, over a decade ago. So I slid into her DM, and I was like, hey, what's up? Like tell me about your religion. Why do you believe in the things that you believe? Yemoja, the goddess of the sea. Why do you believe in it? And she was really kind. She was really kind. She engaged me. We talked. Then we swapped phone numbers, and we got talking. And we just kept talking on and on. And she just said, "Hey, you know what? We're having a New Yam festival in Ibadan. Do you want to come over?" I'm like, for real, like to experience it. She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, what's up? I just packed my bag, and I moved. I went there. That experience changed everything for me, because see, most people, when you mention African traditional religion, most people think that once someone is a priestess or an Ifa priest or a Babalawo, you have jazz, you can make rain fall. They are just normal people, that have they are real people with real problems. Yeah. Like everything that happens to the everyday man happens to those guys too.
Okay.
Heartbreak, business fails. It's just life.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just that they believe in that religion. They don't have like supernatural power. I remember as a child back then, when I'm going to school and I see this sacrifice, what they call Eber, on the street.
Yeah, on the street.
I always try to avoid it because I think maybe if you step on them, lightning will just strike you.
Yeah, of course. We hear a lot of stuff like that.
But not. I'm at a point in my life now, right now, if someone brings that kind of elbow to my are you sleeping?
Very quickly, let's just move to.
Okay, yeah,
Let's
sure.
just move to Aliu now.
Yes.
A little bit about your background and.
I'm born into a Muslim home.
All right.
Father is a Muslim, my mother is a Muslim. But then I just knew there's something about me. I'm always a curious child.
Okay.
If you tell me do this, I always ask the first question is why. You just tell me do this thing and expect to just jump into it. So most of the time when you tell me go to mosque, I ask you why. But the idea is God asks us to pray. You understand? So it is this, I think there's still this intuitive behavior right from childhood that there's somebody there right from the environment you grew up in, the background, like, okay, this is what you should do, this is what you're supposed to do, that you're supposed to do, and we follow that rate. So after secondary school, my dad called me one day and asked me, because I'm only the lover of reading the Quran. I finished the Quran when I was 9. So I learned a lot about it. It's just something I enjoy doing. So my dad asked me then, do you want to go to school next? I told him, I'm not going to school yet. I want to further more in gaining knowledge, Islamic aspect of this. Because this thing you tell me you are doing a religion. Why am I doing this? When I see people reading in books, then I enjoy the fact that they could read the Arabic and translate it, and it gives me a lot of joy that, oh, I want to do this thing. So that led to me, for the last 10 years, I've always been a student, just doing my research, went to Arabic school, global continuing. So then, the has chased many people out of Islam as the religion. So since then, I would say I graduated fully last year. And then I've been practicing praying for people, being an imam, even till today. But then it is still, for me, the evolution is not just about me going into this. Yeah, so even before graduating, at a point in my life, I find Christianity kind of interesting.
Wow.
Because we always have this conversation, when you're a kid and you're a Muslim and a Christian, I always find Muslim is the religion, Christian is the religion. And we always kind of find a way to counter each other that, okay, there's something in your Bible that does not sit right, does not make sense. And the following day, we have this argument after school and then. So that got me into learning and reading the Bible.
Interesting.
So when you tell me this something about happening, although I did not really go too deep, like understanding the whole Bible and all that. But then, there are some times that I know some verses in my head that when you tell me Jesus is this, I'll tell you no. So thing in the Bible says this. I'll quote for you. That's just me making research on arguments, fighting my colleagues there. So I realized I was studying the Bible, I was reading. I had the Bible then. The New Testament that we always give to children, the small one, that blue one, everyone always have that in hand. So I was reading. At some point I felt like this thing I'm reading does not even make any sense to me any longer. Because everything I've been reading is not coming up to what I'm expecting. So I dropped it At some point, I started learning about traditional stuff and all. I did not really go too deep into the Yemoja and all that, but then I learned a bit about Ifa. I was just doing it. At some point, I could even, there are some people that we call them fortune tellers. The press science, astrology. I did astrology, even till now, I still understand astrology very well. But I just went through all this knowledge just to get out, okay, what exactly is the way? And to the best of my knowledge, to this moment, what I'm holding on to is still Islam is still the best and still the belief I have that, okay, this is the right path for me and that's the religion. And here we are today.
Thank you very much, guys. I think that this is very exciting. This is very exciting because we've just had 3 different stories of 3 different people who have had personal experiences, and your personal experiences veered you in different lines. It's really exciting, more because of my story. I would say I have something similar as well. I was born into a Catholic home. Um, up until last week Sunday, I wasn't a Christian until like last week. Was it? Yeah, this week Tuesday. So this week Tuesday, I had sort of an experience that made me realize I didn't stop being a Christian or a Catholic. I just transcended and added a few titles. So right now, I think I'm a Catholic. I think I'm a Christian. I can also call myself a free thinker, a Buddhist as well. And it's going to lead me to my next question. So we're having a conversation earlier, and someone mentioned that according to African beliefs, every human being has a chi. So your chi is like your soul. And your soul comes with you from wherever it is that we come from into this earth. Then when your soul comes to this earth, whatever traditions, culture, or religion that you meet, your chi almost soaks everything and decides which one works best for me. I feel like that was so profound because that's what I've heard you guys say. Myself as well, from when I was really young, I wanted to ask questions. In catechism classes, I did not want to just believe what they said, hook, line, and sinker. When they said that, especially definition of God, I didn't completely understand it. And when we asked questions, they always told us not to ask questions. When they told us about the story of the Garden of Eden and how Cain and Abel were the children of Adam and Eve, and then Abel now went and he got married, and I'm like, who did he get married to? So these are the questions we asked as kids, and we're told not to ask questions. I sort of have an answer now, even though more important for me in my beliefs now is to understand that there is no definite answer because answers always change. My answer has been changing for the past 2 or 3 years of my enlightenment. It is still changing, and I'm very okay with things changing. Which leads me to my question. When we are curious as kids and want to ask questions, want to check out other churches, and they tell us not to, and we want to have conversations with Muslims and have relations with Muslims or people that are not of your own orientation, and they tell you not to because those people are wicked and bad and they call them all sorts of names. But deep down, you still want to do that. And you still go ahead and do that. And end of the day, it may veer you away or even make you stronger in your own belief. So my question is, why do religious systems often resist questioning and change? Why do you think they do that? Aliu, I feel something burning inside.
Yeah.
So let me just take Aliu before I go to
Okay,
Shalewa.
for me, I don't religion is religion, but I don't think religion is scared of questions. But then from the perspective of fear of change. Why doesn't it change? I don't think it is supposed to change for me. Now, when it comes to questioning, as a matter of fact, religion opens you to question. Because in the Quran or Hadith, which is the two pillars that you should follow as a Muslim, it tells you when you don't know something, ask. There was one time there's a story of the prophet when he sent one of his disciples to another country. And he went there, he told him when he was going, he said, if you should get there, what are you going to tell them? The disciple responded, I'm going to tell them about the Quran. Then he said, okay, what if you want to say anything in the Quran and you can't find the judgment in the Quran? What will you use? He said he's going to use the word of the prophet, which is hadith. And he said, okay, let's not assume the Quran did not mention it, the hadith did not mention it. What will you use? Then he said, he responded, he's going to come with his own logical thinking. So I do not believe religion is scared of questioning. No. Maybe, that's like different perspective changes people's mindsets. Everyone has different experiences when they are growing up. Religion is already there. The problem we have in religion are those practicing it. Because to me, even among my Muslim colleagues, there are some belief they have that I do not buy into. Yeah. Because when you tell me something that I just tell you, if you think this is what religion teaches you, how do you want to practice this ideology and you expect somebody to see your religion as something that is not against humanity? That's just something logical because, fine, we have been created. The religion is there, serve God. This is the way I want you to serve me. That is what religion. The process is the religion, which is not supposed to change. Imagine I wake up tomorrow and you are telling me, okay, there is a new information from God. Exactly. You said we should not pray 5 times anymore, it should be 20 times. I'll run away. Because those people are not serious. You don't know what you are doing. But if there's a guideline and outline that, okay, this is how you should serve God, that should be consistent. But if there is at any point you are saying religion is scared of questioning, I do not buy into that.
Shalewa, yes, I do actually. I'm of the opinion that when you want to buy something from someone, and you're asking questions, and the person gets agitated, like, why are you asking too many questions?
Red flag.
Red flag. There's something up. Yes, and for me, I think that is religion. Yeah. So, you mentioned something about religion, being open to questions. So I would like to put one out here. Okay, I am a father. I am referring to God now. God. I am a father. I built this very nice, this very beautiful garden. And I've got children that I love. But in that garden, I now plant a poisonous tree.
Okay.
Yeah. I now plant a poisonous tree there. Then I call my children and say, see, I love you guys, but I want to test how much you love and respect me. So this tree, don't go near it. You don't eat from it or you die. What kind of father does that?
Now, let me answer your question because I understand where the point you are coming from. Now, I won't say you should use the word poisonous because there's no father that is going to. Yeah, I understand what you are saying. Now, this is an evolution of a philosophy that is already bound to happen. Okay. God, in his own way, from the creation, and he already knows that definitely something has to happen for people to be on earth. Okay. There's a lifestyle going on in heaven. Him, his angels, and every one of them, everyone created Adam. Okay. Right? Okay. Now, for Adam to transcend into earth, something has to happen. Okay. It is already a perfected ideology to him, which is God, which we cannot understand why. Now, the best thing I've been able to understand about the Quran is this. Quran mentioned to us that even when God wanted to create Adam, the angels were against him creating Adam. Because the idea was, if we should create someone to be on earth, what they will be doing on earth, we are already doing it in heaven. We want them to worship, we are already worshiping. If we should create them into earth, they will start, wait, I'm coming. If we should create them, they will start doing bad things and start doing things we do not want. Now, this is it for you. As a father, like you said, you have about 25, let's say that you have just 3 children, or even 1. Yeah. And this one child, okay, I've been giving you instruction, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. This tree you planted here, you already know if this child should go to this tree,
Okay.
or if you should do this thing,
Okay.
this is what is going to happen.
Okay.
And you want to make it a test, like even no matter how you have a curious kid that is still going to do it.
Okay.
It is not a poison to harm your child.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand it. It's not supposed to harm your child.
Okay.
But at that point, regardless, because I already know you are going to do this thing. So this is the result of what is going to happen. And I'm telling you, don't do this. But in my mind, I already know you will still do it. You do know we can give birth to our children like that.
Okay, so you are saying God, everything that happened in the Bible and Quran, God wanted it to happen.
Yes.
He wanted Adam and Eve to eat the apple.
That's why he created them, and that's why he planted their food there.
Sorry, can I respond?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please.
I think you had something to say before.
No, please go on.
Okay. So you referenced the biblical account.
Yeah.
And do you agree that the Bible can explain the account you reference from the Bible?
Please enlighten.
No. Let me explain what I mean by that. You asked a question from the Bible.
Yeah.
So I want to know if we have common ground. Do you agree that the Bible that you reference
Yeah.
can provide a response to the question you asked from the Bible?
I don't think so.
I don't think I should proceed with responding because you are not going to agree with my answer.
No, I don't have to.
We don't have to agree. I don't think he has to agree.
Saying is this.
Yeah, so
So it doesn't have to agree.
You asked a biblical question.
Yeah.
And I think it's only logically consistent for the thing you're questioning to respond to your question.
No, you can.
I mean, and that's okay.
I think that is
If
so-
your answer comes
You
in,
don't have to agree.
because he also answered from.
All right. So your question is,
Yeah.
why will God plant such a tree
Yeah.
in the garden?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for let me digress a bit, but when you say that God, the angels were against God creating man, it poses a lot of questions in my own mind. But
Yeah,
I'm trying to get there later
Yeah.
because that's not the God of the Bible.
Yeah.
Anyway, God has several attributes, and one of his attributes is justice, right?
Okay.
And when he created man with free will.
Okay.
Okay. So when he planted in the garden the tree of death, there was also another tree
Okay.
called the tree of life.
Okay.
And God is not trying to create a robot.
Okay.
He's trying to create a being who he wants to voluntarily choose him, getting somewhere. And in order for man's free will or God's justice to be accounted for, he gives man free will and gives man a choice. There is a tree of life, there's a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat this one, you will die. In Genesis 3, we see that if you eat of the tree of life, you will live forever as well. Now, still looking at the scriptures, man, of course, ate of the tree, of the poisonous tree,
Okay.
and was infected by that poison. And then we see God make a statement in Genesis 3 and verse 15.
Okay.
He says, the seed of the woman will bruise the head of the serpent.
Okay.
That's prophetic language. And I'll say that to mean because women do not have seed.
Okay.
Men have seed. And then we see a historically verifiable account of Isaiah in the book of Isaiah chapter 9, talking about the virgin birth of Jesus, that when it says, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, right? And this is not just the Bible. See, what makes the Bible credible is not because it's the Bible. Christianity, or the person of Jesus, is what makes the Bible credible. This is a historical account that was written 700 years before Jesus came, before he was born. In 1947, in a place called the Qumran Cave, there were some scrolls that were discovered. They call them the Dead Sea Scroll. And these scrolls contain about 95% of the entire Old Testament. It contained the entire book of Isaiah. And when scientists and all those guys who test the aging of material did their thing, they found that these were the actual scrolls from whence the Old Testament was written from. And then it contained, obviously, Isaiah 9:6 and Isaiah 7 that says, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son. Now, when God was speaking, and I round up with this. When God was speaking in Genesis 3 and verse 15, he said, the seed of the woman shall bruise the head of the serpent. The seed of the woman. Obviously, women do not have seed. Talking about the virgin birth, which Isaiah prophesied about, which is historically verifiable. What that means is simple. Though God planted a tree of death, let's just call it that, and there's also a tree of life, and he expects man to make a choice, which is what he says in Genesis 2 and verse 16. It says, do not eat of this tree, because if they eat of it, you are going to surely die. What we see in Genesis 3, and also in the grand scheme of things, is that although man could eat of this tree and die, God already had a plan for his redemption. I think that's what part of what we're trying to explain. God already had a plan for man's redemption as well. So though he knew, because he's omniscient, He's all-knowing. He knew man will make a choice, and the choice will not be in man's favor. But he is just, and he will not stop man. Man has to choose him voluntarily. And even in choosing him now, in terms of the fullness of time, we hear the gospel and we either believe or do not. In fact, the fact that you are a free thinker and we have other persons of opposing worldviews, I think to an extent is proof that God is just and he will not force himself on any man. And that's what we see in the garden as well. That's why. So there was not just there was not just the tree of death, there was also a tree of life. And when man ate of the tree of death and died, let's just call it that. We know it's not good and evil. God made a statement, said, let us now protect him from the tree of life, lest he eats of it and lives forever in that state, which means it will no longer be redeemable. That's what I believe the Bible says about what happened.
Interesting.
Okay.
I know you asked the question,
Yeah.
and you probably have feedback.
Yeah.
I will please beg that
Okay.
you add your feedback to the next round of questioning that
okay.
comes to you,
Okay.
please. Because the truth is, these conversations are non-ending.
Yeah.
If we don't stir them. So please, I would really like us to just continue to stir them. Thank you very much. I really like your submissions. They are very lovely. I want to comment on a few things that was said, but I'm trying to be as much as possible very, very neutral. So I would leave my comments and move to a question that is similar. So I want to ask, organized religion, does it breed conformity or authenticity? Let me try and explain further. Conformity would have been you still being a Catholic till death. Am I correct?
If that's what you mean, yes, I get you.
I think that would have been conformity because that's what you were born into.
Okay, yes,
You would have had to conform.
Okay, I believe you. I get what you mean.
Authenticity is you seeking the truth
Mhm.
for yourself, like you did, like I did. So, organized religion, does it breed conformity over authenticity? And I want us to be as honest as possible in the answers. I noticed earlier when I said that thing about questioning and change, I noticed the answers may have been a bit diplomatic. Because on the vast, what's the word now? If we check out all evidence available, most often than not, questioning is not really allowed. Most often than not, but it's understandable that we would answer that way. Now, I want to ask: does it breed conformity over authenticity? I'd like us to answer very honestly.
Shalewa, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Can you go first
Yeah,
and also
yeah.
chip in your response to them?
Yes. I always say something that religion is a social construct. Religion it plays its own role in every society. It's the culture of the people. So that's why you find out that every the Christians have their own myth about life came into existence. The Jehovah's have theirs, like that. So the Jehovah's would tell you that Udua came from the sky with a chain from Mecca, yada yada yada. Yeah. Christians
Aliu, you're laughing.
yeah, Christians,
Aliu, do you have any comments on that?
No, not really.
yeah. So
Why? I mean, very quickly,
culture.
and I think that's a very, very salient point.
Yeah.
Because many a times we talk about religion and we don't pay attention to African culture and ancient African religion, which was forcibly taken from us, if we're going to be honest. But I'm going to ask from your question,
Okay.
why do we attach a lot of veracity to foreign religion over African religion?
What do you mean by
What
that?
in my foreign and African religion?
When he said Yorubas believe that Oduduwa came from the sky, I'm not going to lie. Is when you hear something like that, it seems like it's fallacy. It seems like a lie. And that's probably why you smiled. I mean, if you say this thing anywhere, 9 out of 10, and you have to agree with me, 9 out of 10 will smile like, what's this man talking about? Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So we definitely attach very little veracity, very little truth to African culture, African religion over foreign religion. I think I have.
Okay, so let me.
Why do you think that is?
No, I don't think we are saying African religion, foreign religion. For me, I don't think there's something like foreign religion. There's nothing like foreign religion. Yeah,
I think
I understand where it's coming from. What I
I'm
want to
talking
say,
about
Islam
origins.
If you're saying Islam is foreign,
Yeah.
now if you're saying
I'm talking about the
Africa.
origin, though.
the origin, yeah,
Yes,
Origin is foreign.
considering the fact that we live in Africa.
Yeah.
yeah,
Considering the fact that we live in Africa, we are naturally Africans. And if we go by history, I think Islam came to Africa some 200, 300 years ago, and same with Christianity, if I'm correct.
I think Christianity came before Islam, but there's something I want to chip in on that. When it comes to Christianity and Islam, the origin of Christianity and Islam is this. We know there's just one being, oneness of God. So there's one being whereby we all serve, right? But
We don't
in
really
the
agree on
Africa,
that.
we agree on
No,
that.
no, we don't.
Okay, you don't agree on that.
I'm not trying to refute you. I'm just saying, no, I'm actually refuting you that we don't agree.
We may not agree on that.
Yeah,
Okay, now, but in the long run, there's still one
Generally, yes, I get
that
you.
we all
Yes,
agree on. Okay, there's somebody there called God,
Mhm.
right? Okay, fine. Where we now have different, somebody saying there's three in one God and all that.
Yeah.
That's where we have.
That's a Catholic.
That's where we have problems.
That's
But then I don't think we put in more importance on foreign religion, like you said, to African religion. For me, it is not foreign religion, it's not African religion. Based on statistics, okay, let us be factual on just like you said. Yes, when you hear this history of Oduduwa coming from the listing, just like you said,
it's not
it's
not believable.
It's unbelievable
Yeah.
because you feel like, what is this? It does not make any sense. And that was part of the when I was doing my journey of looking for the authenticity, just like you said. I got to a point and I was told, okay, how did this person translate into it? And I said, okay, there is one. I even watched a lot of movies. Shango came, we turned into this. So it does not make any sense. But when Islam came into Africa, Christianity came into Africa, generally, it is, I think I would say civilization actually contributed to what we are having today in this part of our country. Okay. Because if not for civilization, probably, and to be factual, many of us will still be a traditionalist.
And then
Except if we go outside of our jurisdiction and then we find something different and we say, okay, I think this makes sense, and we start searching for the truth. But intuitively, if we are born and there's no civilization, maybe you come here today and you are doing your Ifa, I'm doing my Shango. Yeah,
that's a knowledge problem. That's all we would have known.
That's all we'll have known. Yeah. So it is not like civilization has brought in so many diversity of culture to us. Okay, fine. This angle, this is what they do, this is what they do, this is what they do. We brought it together, and that is where our own personal free will comes in. I decide what I want to do while searching for the truth. Is this authentic enough for me? Every religion has its own book, right? If I'm going to say I want to study this, not everyone has the opportunity to be a researcher. Not everyone has the opportunity to go through diverse knowledge.
I think everyone does in this age. You have a phone, you can research.
Still doesn't, because you have a phone that you can research, does not mean you want to seek the truth. You still see some people that will still come online.
So that's a personal problem, not an availability of.
That's why I say free will.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It's more of a free will.
Yeah.
So even till today, for me, I once taught the part of Ifa. I learned one or two things. I felt, this one is not making any sense here. I read the Bible. I did, okay, this has a lot of truth in it. This. And at the long run, if we are going to be factual, religion-based, it is still going to be a result of what I think.
Personal preference.
Okay.
So let me just stop there for now.
I like that.
You want to answer your question?
Shalewa.
So
Yeah.
I was going to make a comment before.
Because it was your thought that I interrupted.
Okay, yeah. I think everything. I don't have any grounds against any religion. If anything, I encourage you. If you decide you want to worship a stone, go ahead. Yeah, it's okay. But one thing that I've come to observe is that the major religions, I'm talking about Islam and Christianity now, they tend to demonize African traditional religion. Yes, yes, and they do that a lot. And the truth is, every religion can exist We have over 10,000 religions in this world.
As
Yeah.
a social construct.
There are religions that have there's some religions that have gone obsolete. Christianity at some point too might have the same fate. Yeah, it's likely. Is it likely? And I'll tell you why.
I don't know why they ask me, is it not likely?
No.
But I'm not going to answer for you.
Wait. I'll tell you
I'm
why.
going to look into the camera and say,
Wait.
he asked me that question,
Wait,
I did
I'll
not
tell you-
answer him.
I'll tell you why. Wait, I'll tell you why. Now we went to a point where as a species we're going to become
Planetary.
where we're going to Mars. Yeah, it's looking likely.
Does seem like that.
Yeah, it's looking very. Yeah, it's looking like.
I mean, the next question I should ask is, how does that affect our religious beliefs?
Now a child. Just imagine a child born on Mars in, let's say, the next 1,000 years. They can't think the way that they were thinking.
Interesting.
True story.
Interesting.
Imagine a child that was born where they're going on trips from Mars to Jupiter to Saturn. They'll think differently. And now research is even going towards now the research that is ongoing. They're looking at the effect of microgravity on reproduction. Yeah, because we're having sex.
I came across something.
We're having sex on Earth. The whole process. Even the sperm swimming, gravity plays a role.
Yeah.
Interesting.
True story.
It does.
So if you're having sex in
It's
space,
gonna be different. It's gonna be different.
that's an experience
It's going
that
to be different.
I would like
In
to
fact,
have.
even eating
Yeah.
food is different.
Yeah. They
And
like
how the
food.
whole digestive process and all.
Yes, in space.
So-
Everything is
So
completely
it
different.
makes every understanding of the basic knowledge, almost
So
everything is
gravity is
completely
the leveler
different.
in the earth. It has defined so many of our units.
Yeah.
Yes. So now, and I'm moving to that point where, because trust me, Elon Musk is not joking. Elon Musk is not joking. See, that's why I feel sorry for Africa. On review, this is not even about religion now. I feel sorry for Africa because the world is doing big things. Big things are going. Yeah. In 2020, 2021, there's a project called the James Webb Space Telescope, the AWST. Mad. Mad. I think these guys are not joking. These guys built it's the collaboration between NASA, European Space Union, European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency. They built a telescope, the JWST. It is worth about $10 billion. So when you invest $10 billion on a project, then you know that you're not playing. Now, what is telescope is doing? It's going back in time. It is time traveling. That's crazy.
Interesting.
Infrared astronomy. It's going back in time. It's going to get data from billions of years ago, taking pictures of stars of the universe as it was billions of years ago. So now, when you now have a generation with this kind of information, they can't think like us. 10,000 years from now, 1 million years from now, they're talking about all that. Those ancient men, relics.
Pastor,
But
Okay.
I do not believe that is going to happen.
So what?
Yeah, the reason is this.
Okay.
If you should say
Okay.
someone is being birthed in space, right?
Yeah.
Before the person got there,
Okay.
there's a being that got to the space. Or we want to say pregnancy is not going to occur in the space any longer. Is that what you're saying?
Research is going on. We don't know.
Okay, don't know yet.
Don't know.
But let's assume something is going to birth, just like normal process. Someone has to birth someone has to nurture someone. The child will not nurture himself.
Okay.
And that takes me back to a point I made earlier on that for every time you are being birthed,
Yeah.
your father, your mother, wherever whom you are being birthed into, they have a particular religion or belief.
Okay.
That belief is what they instill in you as a child.
Okay.
And that's, if we should go into the children research,
Okay.
there's this research that says, naturally, every child is being born to have an intuition. And the intuition is being enhanced by what they have in their environment and what the people around them does. I think we can all agree to that. Now, if you are saying religion, most of the things we know today it is being passed to us from a particular generation. It is now because, okay, fine, we are now in an age of technology. We are trying to like find out this, does this make sense from this thing? Why is this? Why is this that? You find out that today, even in the books, the Quran and the Bible, there are some things, let me just say the Quran, I don't want to make reference to the Bible, right? There are some things that we are being told while growing up that even the Quran addressed it, but the truth of that part was not being sold to us. We are not taught. Now, that is where religion comes in. As a religion is there. But those practicing the religion are the real problems. Are they really teaching what the religion is saying, or they are teaching what suits their own ideology? So either we want to take it or not, religion will continue to be. Religion will continue, because except you want to say, okay, we are eradicating this particular set of people that has religion inbuilt in them, and we want to bring out a new generation of people. As long as we have people who still believe that, okay, this is a process at which we should go through, I don't think religion will go obsolete.
Okay. Let me just chip in a little bit, so we don't veer off. Before I chip in though, do you have any comments on this particular topic?
I do, but it might take a while, so I think you should proceed. I'm
just going to try and speed through because we are going through a lot. I want to ask this, very, very important. Can one be spiritual without being religious? Furthermore, does spirituality need a higher power, or can it just be awe at the universe?
Oh, as in AWE?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me just try and explain it a little bit. In the past 1 or 2 years, one of the things that I've been trying to do as a person is being present. And it's one of the most difficult things ever that one can do. And the process of being present is getting out of my mind, thinking a bit less, observing more.
Just enjoying the moment.
And just enjoying the moment. Not only the moment, the things that are happening in the moment, the things that we don't pay attention to. Like, these days I could literally just focus on one button on your suit. And I look at it, so joyfully, so in all its entirety. And I find that it helps me get out of my head and be more present. And I think that that's some level of spirituality. Which brings my question. Can you be spiritual without being religious? Does spirituality need a higher power? Or can it just be awe at the entire universe and the wonderful things in there?
So I think that when you say spirituality, fundamentally you are referring to something that is metaphysical. Do we all agree with that?
Yes.
That's what I think. So, but before I even speak on that, while I really want to commend Shalewa's research. He's speaking facts. These are things that I've breezed through, but he has given them in-depth study, especially the whole space research. I've read through them, but I didn't pay so much attention, but I have an idea. But he has deep research into that. And I want to say something. You are obviously not going to agree with this. We're not going to get to that point.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
We're not going to get to that point.
Okay.
Just like what you said. And I have reasons why. I have very cogent reasons why. Like I said initially, one of the things that validates Christianity is not just the plethora of people practicing it all over the world. One of the things that validates Christianity. Let me ask a question. Or in fact, there's this movie that was I think it was in the 1900s. The movie was released. I think it's called Flatliners. I don't know if you've seen that movie. So there were like 4 friends, and they wanted to answer the question: is there life after death? Is there something else beyond this realm? And one of the things that they did was, I think they were medical doctors, and they got three of them, and they basically did what is called flatlining. So you flatline your heart rate, like what happens and that means that there's, so you basically get to the intermediate point between life and death, as close to death as possible, as close to life as possible, and they flatline you for 10 seconds. And that's what they did to their friends, and they resuscitate you in 10 seconds time. After 10 seconds, and they ask you, what did you see? What did you find? What was there? And I think that that is an honest way to actually answer the question, is there life after death? And so when it comes to religion, let me just ask you a question as well. If you are on a journey and you are on one path and you are journeying and then you get to a junction, and on that junction, there's a road to the right, road to the left, there's a road forward. And you find three men at that junction. Two of them are dead. Only one is alive. And you find that one who is alive about to embark on a journey, or still on that journey, on that same road. On one of those three roads. And then you want, let me rephrase that story. Sorry. You get to that junction, right? And you find three men there. Two are dead, one is alive. And the one who is alive seems to be more familiar with one of those routes, right? Who are you going to ask for the next step to take, the next path to take? Obviously, the guy who is alive. True or false? Now, I said that to say this, that yes, there are so many religions, like you said, over 10,000. In fact, it's crazy that within Christianity, there are close to 10,000 denominations, but let's not even go into that now. Actual research. One of the things that differentiates, in fact, the major thing that differentiates Christianity from other religions or organized religions is not just that every religion is trying to find the creator or trying to find a path to the creator, but in the fact that the creator himself came to his creation. That's number one. Number two.
Shalewa, I saw that laugh.
I heard it too.
Shalewa, I saw that laugh.
I saw the laugh. Number two. Out of all the leaders, right, of different religions, only one is alive. And that's the person of Jesus. Not just because I think he's alive, but his resurrection is one of the greatest events in history. Now, the thing is, some people will say, how do you know he's alive? How do you know he ever lived in the first place? And I'll ask you a question. How do you know Abraham Lincoln ever lived in the first place? You read stuff, right? Now, when it comes to the resurrection of Jesus, I would have loved to make this longer, but I don't have that privilege right now. There's no time. There were at least 500 people who saw Jesus when he rose back from the dead. And if you want to know if there is life after death, you don't just ask someone who, I know what you're going to say. You don't just ask somebody who, like in the movie, was flatlined for 10 seconds. Or somebody who said, I'm going to die. And in 3 days, he didn't say I'm going to die. He said, I'm going to lay my life down. And in 3 days, I will already take it back up again. And he came back to life. I also know you don't agree with this, but it's fine. I'll take it back up. And he did what he said. There were eyewitness accounts. Now, when you now see the people who saw him come back to life, and you see the way they were also willing to die for their faith and for their belief system, it tells you that their confidence was not just in what they were told, but in what they had seen. They had seen their person of Jesus say he would die. He died, and he came back to life just as he said he will. And there are so many other historical proofs and records. And do you realize that the Bible is the most attested document in all of written history?
No.
So what?
No, I don't agree.
And that's okay. Well, you can make your research after now.
Yeah.
Having over 5,000 manuscripts. And a manuscript is basically a copy of, maybe you write a book now, you write a book, right? Manuscripts are the copies, where we have photocopies today. People making copies for distribution of your book, right? And when the Bible was written, the actual manuscript of the Bible has over 5,000 copies. And when you look at the span between when these manuscripts were written by the people who wrote them and the copies that were made, that would be inaccurate. Many of those copies were done in the lifetime of the writers of those manuscripts. So if people are going to stand up to say, this thing is a lie, this never happened, Jesus never rose from the dead, I think we will have all of that information even till now.
Even if there was victimization of heretics, there was a very long period of time where anyone who said
that's
anything,
10 centuries, the first 10 centuries of church history.
time.
Yes,
Like
that's 1,000 years. That's 10 centuries.
So where anyone who said anything contrary to the beliefs of the Bible would be burnt at the stake or killed or
I
taken
agree.
to a
There was
psychiatric house.
that. There was that, right?
So that could very much have been the reason why any contrary opinions we don't
No, so
see.
the opinionator, for instance, is being killed, not his opinions. Now,
But you can kill.
let me explain what I mean.
But you can kill an opinion
What do you
and
mean by
the opinionator.
when we say heresy? We are talking about something that contradicts the written claim of the Bible or
Yes.
of the Quran or of any religious material.
Fantastic.
That's what we mean by heresy.
Yes.
And there are so many reasons why those heresies were not true. I'm not in support of the whole burning and all. Those were majorly done by the Puritans. It was a sect of Christianity. Not every Christian did that anyway. But that's a conversation for another day.
I know, right?
Unless you want us to go into it, but we don't have that time.
I mean, we don't have the time. Honestly,
Can I
we don't
ask
have
a
the time.
question?
But
I
yes,
was-
yes, please go ahead.
I just want to get something clear because there's something I've been trying to look for the answer. Maybe you can give me the answer
I
today.
hope I can. And if I can't,
Yeah,
go on.
maybe we'll continue the conversation after. But then it's just you said we have a manuscript for the Bible, which was authentic, right? But do you agree that today we have different versions of the Bible?
What we have are translations, because the Bible in itself was written, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, the New Testament was written in Greek, and a lot of the guys in the early church were Hebrew-speaking guys. Pardon me, were Greek-speaking guys, and so there had to be a Greek version of the Old Testament so that they could understand. That's what we call the Septuagint. Now, a translation is taking place when you're trying to convert it from one language to another language. In doing so, there have been several councils that have been set up over history. I'm sure you're aware of that. From the Geneva Bible from the Dead Sea Scrolls, even in the evolution of English, which came about in the 4th century as well. So the original manuscripts were not even written in English, but with Latin Vulgate. And
Okay.
so that is what is responsible for I'm trying to explain this.
Yeah, I understand that. I want to ask a question at
Translations.
that point. So
Yeah.
I get what you just said. But the
still
question
about
now is
manuscripts.
no. The question now is if you are saying it's just an issue of translation,
Okay.
why is it that there are some things in the Old Testament that are not in the New Testament? Is it that
What do you mean by that? Come again.
there are some scriptures in the Old Testament that contradicts the
Like-
New
like-
Testament,
like which
or even some of them are
Give me
not
an
even
example of a
involved?
contradiction. An example of a contradiction. No, you can't. This is what we call internal evidence. So give me an example of one.
Okay. Can I remember one now?
You can even search on Google if maybe
I mean,
you can.
I don't want us to go
I mean,
too much into that.
I feel like several times we're told that the New Testament takes precedence over the Old Testament.
So that's because like I will always say, like I said initially before now, something was happening in the Old Testament, right? A lot of the events were to foreshadow events that will take place in the New Testament. Not contradiction, but more or less in like cryptic form. That's why I always say that we should not hold the Bible. I mean, you can say this for the Quran. We shouldn't hold the Bible to a standard it doesn't hold itself to. That's what it's called. It's called straw manning. These things that were, for instance, now, you will see, and it has to be explained. You will see the Israelites. They were in the wilderness,
Yeah.
right? And then God was sending them manna every day.
Exactly.
And then Jesus comes and says, I am the true bread come down from heaven. Is he saying he is bread? He's not. He's saying that thing that God did in the Old Testament, providing food miraculously for the Israelites, was to foreshadow something that will happen in the New Testament. I'm giving you an example of one.
Interesting.
That's why I asked for a contradiction. If you can think of anyone.
Okay. So the question I want to go
Shalewa,
to
I'm coming to you.
is
The Baba-
I'm
the-
coming
over
to
the time.
I know you have a lot to
What I
say.
really want to get is this: that
Yes, this.
over the time, just like you just explained something now, that from the Old Testament to the New Testament, it is just to foreshadow or forecast events that are supposed to happen in the New Testament.
Not literally everything, but the major events.
The major.
events.
Because I mean, that would be. I will be a heretic to say that every single thing that maybe when Abraham drank water in his cup is supposed to do. That's an extreme.
Okay, does it mean?
Major and notable events were to foreshadow? Jesus himself made this claim.
Okay, go ahead. I'd like to hear that.
All right. So when he was speaking in John 5, I can't remember the verse, but we can check it now. He was speaking to the Jewish rulers and he said, you search the scriptures thinking in them you will find eternal life, but they are they which testify of me. That's the first thing he said. In Luke 24, you'll find this in verse 27, you find this in verse 44. He was on the way to Emmaus. These are historical events. And he found 2 disciples who were walking. And he joined himself with them. And they were looking very sad and just conversing. Maybe like how you probably find me and Shalewa talking after now. And they were just really conversing. And he was like, why are you guys sad and downcast? What's happening here? And then they looked at him. Have you not heard? Have you not known that Jesus was only one thing? And then he said, he made a statement. He said, "Oh fools and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have said." He said, "Ought not Christ to have suffered and died as the scriptures have said?" That's me showing you where Jesus himself is.
Alluded to the prophecy.
Yes, yeah, that's one. But bigger than that, he is ascribing credibility to the Old Testament. And that's part of why we believe it, because he rose from the dead.
Okay, so how long has the New Testament been?
How long has it been?
Yeah.
So when you say the New Testament, we're talking about a collection of books. It's not one book. All right? So, and these books were written within the first 100 to 200 years of church history. Over time.
So like 2,000 years is the answer, I guess.
Is that what you're asking? Yes, but I'm just saying, yeah.
So I want to ask you a question.
That's what you've been doing.
It does not.
For 5 minutes.
Maybe it does not. We got it.
Shalewa is having a good time.
It does not sound illogical. Is it safe to say the New Testament will be the last one, or we should expect the New Testament to still forecast or foreshadow events that are going to happen?
The next event, which is where I would agree with you when you told Shalewa that we will not get to that point. The next event we're expecting is what is generally called the rapture.
Okay, can I quickly ask, do you both believe in rapture? Do you believe in rapture as well?
So now there are different schools of thought in what people consider as what
Rapture.
the
That's what I want to ask him. His own thought of rapture.
I think I'm a bit familiar with yours. Can I please
can
ask?
you explain what's your mode of rapture?
There's no time to go into that now.
I just want to know.
But what I would say is,
Yeah,
in some
the thing is, the thing. What I will agree to the fact
let me
that
just finish. I'm done in 10 seconds. What I will say about the rapture, not the nitty-gritty of the details, but is that this earth will fold up, come to an end, and there's going to be a new earth and a new heaven. That's what I'm going to say.
yeah,
That's what I'm going to say about it.
That's very interesting. So where does Mars fall into this whole rapture plan? But
No, the thing
that
is,
doesn't seem factual.
I have this. If you are good,
True. As the research that they're doing is, I cannot see. I concern myself to a large extent.
Why I have a problem with that? Why I have a problem with that is there's a lot of things that you could very easily have said that we will not get to, that we are at the moment.
Okay, like what?
For instance, the Bible speaks of heaven and earth. Are you telling me that the Bible had a premonition that we'll get to a point where we discover that there are multi-planets?
The planets are attested to in the Bible, the different planets.
Not necessarily.
Why? They are in the book of Job, but let's leave that for now. Why I believe strongly, and then again, this is a belief. Why I believe strongly that we will not get to that point is when Jesus was ascending, right? Like I said, once again, historically proven, can make your research. When he was ascending and he had gone up, which you don't believe is God anyway, an angel was there present with the guys who saw him ascending. And then while they were looking up in awe and all of that, the angel asked them, "Why do you guys look up? Why are you guys surprised and perplexed? For in the same manner," those are 3 words, in the same manner you have seen him go up, he will also come down and judge the earth.
which means Jesus is still coming back.
Yes, he's coming back. So
sorry,
the earth.
what are you going to do? Because
When he comes back, what is going to
when
do?
it comes and the people and they are astronauts in ISS and the people what's going to do?
So this is a logical question.
Yeah.
No, I feel you, but
Okay.
you are assuming this is just I'm choosing my words carefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the creator we're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, you don't agree that he's God anyway, but okay, let's say God is coming back. No,
No, God is not coming back.
And
God
so
is where
don't
he is.
worry. Let's not get into that.
When you guys are done,
Your Quran actually proves that Jesus is God, and we can go into that, but I don't want
Quran, there's nowhere Quran says Jesus is God.
to agree. But I'm just letting you know. For me, man.
Shalewa, wait, let's give. Wait.
No,
Wait, I want
Just
Shalewa
18
to
seconds.
talk. Shalewa hasn't had a chance to speak
All right.
for the longest.
No problem.
Okay, agnosticism is beautiful, but I've just been watching you guys going back and forth.
It's beautiful because there are no answers.
No,
You are in the middle.
Yeah, yes.
And Christianity provides the most logical answer.
Wait, but I want to get something right about. Wait, sorry, I want to get something about you. Now, they believe you. I want to just to be on the same page.
Why are you critical and agnostic? Let me just.
Yes, that's what I want to ask. Are you said you should aggressive as an aggressive person, right?
Does someone have to be one?
Now, the question is this: if you're a free thinker, for me, I believe, or maybe my understanding of who an agnostic person is that you believe there's God, but you cannot prove his existence.
That's what agnosticism is basically. You believe that. So agnosticism is like this. You believe that they may be, but we cannot know.
We cannot prove
that it is.
Can we now hear from the horse's mouth?
Okay, continue. I just want to understand.
Please, can we hear from the horse's mouth?
Okay. What I think basically, I think that the religion is too anecdotal in the sense that.
I bet you're not to know English.
So I don't know that English.
Like when you're bringing up you're making up stories that can't be proven. There's no say. If you ask me, I would say that Jesus Christ came at the right time. Because imagine if he had come now.
Do you believe he came?
No, it came.
Don't flog him, Mary.
No.
Absolutely, I do as well.
No.
Are you doing now?
Chill. I think that he came at the right time back then. Because if he had come now, or more ego cast. Because
Ego cast in what extent?
I don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree.
I'll tell you why I don't agree. When you're done. When you're done, I'm going to tell you why.
I'm going somewhere. Because everything that he claimed that he did, it will be recorded.
And that would have even made his existence very easy to prove.
True.
Yeah.
No, they go carry phone.
Yeah.
What do you mean by
Okay, so wait. I want to ask a question. Are you saying everything they said he did not do it?
See, people wrote stories to meet.
No, now you are learning.
No.
Shalewa.
No. Okay, give me evidence. See, science.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Science inclined, gravity inclined.
Wait.
Let us go back to the existence or evolution of the beginning. Wait.
World War I happened.
Wait.
There are pictures, there are videos.
But you believe the Big Bang theory happened? Did you see the video?
There is data.
Where did the data come from?
Actually, there's web gives data every day.
From where? Where did the data come from?
From say.
Hi, producer. I think you see that it has gotten out of my hand.
So sorry, before you speak,
Wait.
can I say something?
Yeah.
But I want you to finish your point. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yes. See, when you give me data, don't tell me one song.
Who imputed the data?
Wait. I want him to finish. Let's not. She wants to talk.
I find it funny. I find it funny that
But that's a good question, huh?
say everyone here is enjoying the perks of science. Now you can fly from Lagos to London in less than 6
No, but
wait now.
Yeah.
Everything is data research.
So where's the data of before the Big Bang theory?
Sorry, hold on.
Wait.
I have to ask you a question.
Wait. No, I'll address this. See, now there's there are telescopes in space now.
That does what?
More than one.
Yeah.
There's the Hubble, there's the JWST, there's the Punch.
The teleports, right?
SpaceX. No, there's one. SpaceX right now is a solar mission.
Yeah.
It's a solar mission. Now they are giving real-time data.
Of what now?
No, the data. The question you have not still answered my question.
Sorry, please.
My question is
producer speak.
Sorry.
Producer.
We have to go
To end this session.
Yes, 1 hour 20 minutes.
Okay, so
when we talk about the Big Bang, right?
So it means that we need to end this in 2 minutes.
No problem.
We'll bring you guys back for
just hold on.
second version.
Shalewa has very, very, very salient reasons why.
All right, let's just wrap up.
I'm wrapping up now. When we talk about the Big Bang, right? There are a couple of things I want you to consider. First of all, this is what we call the law of causality. Every effect, as a matter of necessity, must have a cause. That's number one. Number two, when we talk about the Big Bang, we're talking about an event that is characterized by chaos. Chaos does not produce intelligence. When you look at the earth, there is what we call intelligent design. Chaos cannot produce that. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. A third thing I want you to consider is this. When you say evolution, I don't know how you will account for how man came to be, probably from apes, not me, God forbid. However, think about this. If you say, however you say now, when we talk about the DNA of man, all right, there is something that we call irreducible complexity. What that means is that the DNA, you cannot make the DNA more or less than it is. You can't make it more functional or less functional than it is. That's what we call irreducible complexity. It's complex in an irreducible way. And what that means is that it has to be fully functional right from the origin of its life. And so the question now begs the question, where did the first fully functional DNA come from? When you study the DNA, you would find this is science. You will find intelligence there. If you take a gram, right, a gram of dried DNA, right, it's microscopic, but if you expand it, it expands to about 6 feet. Nonetheless, in its original state, it is microscopic. The DNA, when we talk about the world's largest supercomputer, that's called the El Capitan, it can store about 4 petabytes of data. Yes, around that, about 4 petabytes of data. And that's, we have kilobytes, we have bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. Then you now have, petabytes thereabout before you have exabytes. That's the world's largest supercomputer, even up until date. But the DNA can store 5 times more information than the world's largest supercomputer. And if we are bold enough to say that inventions like maybe something as simple as water in a bottle or as a spaceship had to be designed intelligently for it to be functional, is it not now, in some intellectual sense, crazy to say that level of intelligence that you find in the DNA was the product of chaos? I don't want you to think about this. You don't have to respond. That's what I'm going to say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very good. Very good.
I'll take your number call.
A very good way to wrap this up. Shalewa, do you have concluding thoughts?
Yes. I would like to point out that we are not special. That's a problem.
You mean as human beings?
As a species,
Okay.
we're not special. There's nothing special about us. If today a nuclear bomb wipes out everyone, the universe is creative. Something else will spring up. Trust me.
I agree with that.
We're not
There's
special.
evidence of actual sites where nuclear bombs were dumped in the ocean in the 50s, and all the animals died. 50 years later, there are mutant animals. There's animals there that have never existed ever in the world, and they adapted. And there's evidence over time that we humans, that we changed, that we didn't start up like this. So that one that he said, God forbid.
Lucy,
I don't have evidence. I don't.
There is actual evidence.
Yeah,
There's actual evidence.
We are wrapping up. So I don't want to.
So I think that what he is trying to say is that the universe is the intelligence in the universe is not precluded to only us humans.
yeah, so we always think that we are special. We always think we are special. We always think that, for example, we always think that if someone dies, it is bad. It is bad luck. Maybe see, the universe is not sentimental.
You've been sold the wrong information about them.
See,
That's the God of the Bible.
Wait. The universe is not sentimental. Yeah, my birthday
They even
is.
take questions from behind the scenes. You have a comment?
Okay.
Hey, okay. I just
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything is working for them.
yeah.
It's gonna happen someday.
Why has it not happened? Because
But it has happened before.
It happened.
But it has happened before.
So when it happened before, how did you now come back?
By itself, of itself so.
Of itself, so.
Yes.
And you don't think there's. Yeah.
even looking at the sun itself, even not just gravity,
See,
That's an assumption.
it's not an assumption. It's not.
No, the thing is this.
That is you assuming something that you have to answer for.
Let me wrap up with these thoughts there.
Okay.
Are you done with your?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No.
Just,
Nobody can never be done with their thoughts. On this topic,
just wrap it up.
nobody can be done with their thoughts.
Okay. See,
We
okay.
can do 5 episodes and you'll still not be done with your thoughts.
Okay. See, what I believe is this here. I believe that the world is a system. Nothing happened by accident.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
God caused it.
And now, but now, I don't. It is. I think it's crazy when you don't give a name to your creator. You don't make a table and the table names you. You name the table. But what we have done is the reverse.
No, sorry.
No,
That's
no.
heavy.
What we have done is the reverse.
That's heavy.
You don't give God a name. It's so disrespectful.
Oh my
So
goodness.
You can't
I
give
say God.
an
That is so
Baba.
profound.
It's an entity that you don't even have an understanding. But-
Yes, I
but
think
but
that I
it's
agree with
God is
that.
not the name, but the way
God
Elvis
is
is the name.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
I think I
Sorry.
understand that.
You cannot box.
Sorry.
God. You cannot box.
That's not boxing.
Thing.
That name is not boxing.
Thing.
If I should come up today and I say, oh, wait, let me ask you a question. If I should see you today,
No, we get
wait, wait.
Go ahead.
If I should
I
see you
get this
today,
point.
if I should see you today, and I feel like, okay, fine,
And I actually agree to a large extent. I don't agree that it is
it
boxing.
is boxed. That is where I'm going to. I'm not agreeing to the fact that it is boxed.
Okay.
You said you cannot. Let's assume you give birth to a child.
Okay.
Your child growing up, then you felt like, okay, I don't want to call you Shalewa any longer. I want to call you, let's say, Prof.
Okay.
Does it mean it's boxing you or is
But the
disrespectful?
child can perceive you.
His point is correct.
His child
No,
can perceive you.
Is that disrespectful?
However, when God,
That's not disrespectful to me, or neither it is you are being boxed.
No, it is actually. But
I believe
okay, we say it's wrong.
Okay, guys, we have to round off now.
Okay,
We have to round off
let me
now.
just wrap up with this. Let me just wrap up with this. Because there's always this belief, until you can give me this answer, then I think I can buy into it, then I should become even way
When
more
you met Moses,
than
you
you.
said, "I am."
The question is this.
Okay.
I am that I
There
am.
is an evolution of creation.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, the Big Bang theory happened.
Yes, it is.
Until I can get answers to it, because even to this moment, science has not been able to give us answers to the before life
Oh, no, I agree.
of that Big Bang theory, right?
Okay.
And you want to say you are going into metaverse of data. Data in the sense,
Okay. So,
I'm a data analyst. Wait,
okay.
I work as a data analyst, right?
10, 9,
Data is always being
8.
collated. Data is always being collated,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Before anything can work, it is being designed by something. Everything we are using today is being designed by human, right?
Okay.
Just to make our life
You get
better.
the point. So
Do you understand? So if you are saying the universe is just there, this came, and just do beam. Before it came, who created that thing there?
Now, thank you for asking.
I think he answered it before by
It's
saying
not answer. It's not. What you said is data. That there is teleporting data.
that's the beauty that we don't know.
That's the beauty
I
that we
agree.
don't what. That's the beauty that we don't know, right? We are running up. We are done. We are done. That's the beauty.
All right,
that we
let me
don't know.
let me just round off our camera, then we can continue the argument. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode. Just like another episode that we shot, where we couldn't end. We couldn't end this. They didn't want to go. They left their seat and got up and started arguing. I mean, I knew this episode was going to be something like that. But this just goes to show that these conversations are non-ending and they really should continue. I think that the blessing of the human mind that we have is such that we can continually have conversations like this and continually explore the depth of our understanding and even the ones that are beyond our understanding. But in everything that you do, even when you leave comments, please make sure the comments are respectful. When you have conversations, have respectful conversations. But in everything, remember that we are not divided, we're only different. Thank you for watching Versus. By the way, this show is sponsored by OneStop. Because when you go, you must stop somewhere. Now continue argument.
Nice one. Okay, so I think what you said before was that's the.
We've taken
Aliu.
pictures already.
Okay.
Let me tap in my bag. I think what you said before.
Now, there's something I
I don't
missed.
want to misrepresent you.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think what he said was that is the beauty that we do not know. Is that what you said? Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm saying is, for me, I'm not. I need to believe that there's no God.
Yeah.
Some people. I believe there's an entity or entities
Mm-hmm.
that
But we cannot know.
we cannot
cannot explain, right?
No. Even after the Big Bang, now there's a theory in physics known as we call the Hubble constant.
Yeah.
Constant. So what it's saying is that even after the Big Bang, yeah, This is the Big Bang. Yeah, the Big Bang happened like this, right? So time is flowing. Now, after the Big Bang, this universe is still expanding.
Yeah.
It's still.
So the theory of the expanding universe is also covered in scripture. Because at the time where God told Abraham, you cannot count the stars, at that time in history, in human history, there were less than 5,000 observable stars in the universe. And now we cannot count them.
Yes.
So the Bible attests to that. What I also think, I also want to say is that the Bible does not say you cannot know God truly. It only says you can't know Him fully. And that is because we have a finite mind. But this is an infinite being. So listen, this is philosophical.
Yeah.
And in philosophy, you just have to agree that there are two classes of creation, two classes of beings.
Yeah.
There are beings that began, and for those beings who began to begin, there has to be a being that never began, because God is not self-caused. You can't cause yourself, because to be self-caused, it means that basically a cause has to be ontologically prior to its effects. So God did not cause Himself, but He is self-existent. What that just means is that because He is God and His existence, but let me rephrase that. He does not exist in the sense that we exist. He is in the sense that He has always been. If there has ever been a time where there was nothing in the universe, now there still will be nothing in the universe. So I think we agree on that. But what you are saying is that we cannot know who that being is.